like this, the matter how they train for everywhere now. So as I declare you, so northern elders don't fall like that. They don't talk, say they send warning to Tinubu and Emilokon squad. Say, man, say this election, so they don't come on hand for it back. As I declare you, so since when APC they make man, they say now for North, now they get their strength. Now northern forum don't fall at all. Say they not the APC back. Say this election, so is supposed to go to the North. So now katakara don't bust now for everywhere. So just watch the video by yourself and when I hear everything this man talk inside this video. After you watch and comment your opinion for the comment section, then share the video, make other people see them, make they know what they sub for the country. Oyana, when I watch the video.
We are in a country today that is unhappy with itself, but then it is unhappy with itself, then it must be because we cause the unhappiness. The Nigerians cause the unhappiness of Nigeria. And if in the north we are unhappy, as Amin Antata has said, we are the cause of the unhappiness in northern Nigeria. And therefore, we have to resolve, we have to take a decision in terms of what has to be done to recover this lost ground. If we allow this to continue, the slide will continue, and we will pass through those that few of us that are still hanging around. But what will the history look like when our children and grandchildren read the history? Just like we're reading this history based on somebody's effort about what happened in terms of the history of northern Nigeria and the leadership. What have we got to show for our children and grandchildren in terms of what we have done for them and for country? Thank you. You know, I'm a former governor, Excellency Governor of Kaduna State. I'm a retired teacher. I always talk a lot, and I don't like people to interrupt me when I'm talking. I'm just being told that I have 1 minute. Okay. And they said it was my governor who sent the message that I have 1 minute. No, I'm joking, I'm sorry. So you see, this assembly is for us to come together again in thoughts, in our minds, in our commitment to the future of this country, and most importantly, the welfare and future of people living in northern Nigeria. And from all the statistics that you have heard, and these are not fictions, they are true. Today it is our children and grandchildren that are in the bush. Bandits. They are referred to as bandits. They are our children. They come from homes in northern Nigeria. Why? Why are they in the bush? With just about 15 million children out of school today. That figure is true. 15 million children out of school, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10-year-olds. They are the ones that you see in the motor parks, and they are the ones that come to your car and knock at the glass and do this. They're looking for food. They are the ones that they say they are out there to do Sangaya education. They have no time for the Sangaya education because the whole day spent by these 6, 7, 8-year-olds is to look for food. What time do they have, or would they have for learning the Quran? That is even the starting point. What time have they got? And they are not in their homes to learn the trade, if there is a trade in their homes. They are not in their homes for the family tarbiyah, as it were. None. Eventually they end up being in brothels, cleaning, washing, and so on and so forth. So we have problems virtually at every turning point, and we have to do something about it. Now, if you look at the politics of the country, now I will talk on this last bit. Politics of the country. The North has paid its dues, more than paid its dues. If there is any part of this country that has made sacrifice for the unity of this country, and for this country to call itself Nigeria as a country, there is no other section of the country that has contributed as much as northern Nigeria. None. We can bring any area and debate it. And you find that the North paid more than paid its dues. In political terms, this is what now the turbulence in the country politics. The North must not show its face as to who in the next election. The parties were warned that they must not field northerners as presidential candidates, because it is not the turn of the North to rule again after Buhari. Of course, I mean, you can look at it in various ways, legal or political. Certainly not legal. Our law books are very clear, the Constitution is very clear that I can stand election 20 times and I can lose 20 times. But nothing should stop me from contesting election if I want to. But then, when you look at it in terms of, well, do me, I do you. Rub my back and I rub yours. The North has rubbed more backs than its back being rubbed. Obasanjo couldn't get 10,000 votes in front of his house. I sat with him when he declared, and I told the journalists that spoke to him rudely most of the time, I said he would be president in Nigeria by the votes of northern Nigeria, and he did. Even there, well, we got paid back somehow. It wasn't appreciated as such. Who brought Jonathan? The North did. Who voted Abiola? The North did, in my sitting room, to defeat my younger brother, Tofa. All these are sacrifices being made by Northerners. And even if you are talking about the years in power from 1999 to date, Obasanjo 8 years, Jonathan 6, 14, Umaru 2, and now Buhari 8, 10. So I've been old even in the number, pure number of years, 4 years. 4 years, even on those terms. But the issue shouldn't have been we are not qualified to contest. We have no right to contest. Certainly, this is the reason why we are saying now that the issue in Nigerian political environment must be based on democratic tenets only. There will be no issue of reserving anything for anybody. If you win an election, you win on the basis of this thumbprint. If you win, we'll accept. But if we win, there's no way you can deny us victory. No way. We will not accept that at all, and we'll be ready. So this is the point. Now, we are almost at the point when these elections will hold. And we have been in constant touch with our colleagues. The Northern Elders Forum had remained committed to talk to other Nigerians on any matter at any time. And if there are differences, we should resolve it on the basis of discussion. But for us to be beginning to see threats that if this happens and we don't like it, we'll do something negative. So we are warning that the elections, hopefully, will be conducted free, fair, and credible. And anybody who wins the election must be accepted as the winner of the election without sentiment. And if there is any attempt to subvert it, then we'll be ready to also counter. No way. So, my dear friends and colleagues, the Northern Elders Forum or the Northern Assembly is meant for us to really look at ourselves and against the rights that is enshrined in our laws and constitution. We are not denying anyone their rights, and nobody will deny us our rights. Nobody. And those who are thinking along those lines, they should go and think again, because we shall not accept a situation where there is a fair, democratically conducted election and a winner emerges and will be denied on the basis that he comes from some section of this country, particularly our own section of the country, will not agree. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry for my usual failure in this kind of gathering when I'm given an opportunity to talk. I've not even addressed, strictly speaking, my speech, but I picked the sense in it and talked about it. And I end again by thanking all of us for coming together to share our concerns about our home, the North, and for us to feel it, that without the base, the northern base, the Nigerian state will not have foundation, without the northern base. So the North should be prepared to provide that base, and has always been prepared to provide the base, and this is why we made all the sacrifices we have to make in the interest of this country, even though a lot of these sacrifices are not being appreciated by many. And then finally coming home, I want us to remember the good old days of the Sadana. The North are one people, irrespective of where you worship or where you vote, where you associate, but remember the oneness, the togetherness, the fraternity that brought us, the history of this country has brought us together, and we succeeded the way we provided leadership over the years, and we have no apology to offer to anybody in terms of the role we have played for the benefit of this country. Thank you.